Hi, hello, good evening, and good day. We are finally catching up with Big Brother Australia after we've already been doing these post-eviction chats with the last five evicted housemates, which sounds so crazy to say out loud. So obviously, big ups to our friends at Channel 7 for allowing that to happen. But certainly excited to kind of run down this cast with you all, discuss all the little things that's been going on in the house, and yeah, and continue our weekly recaps thereafter. So let's kick it off, huh? I am Kyle Petty, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host John Dunphy Drake. All right, in support of the recently departed Annalise and Gina Morgino. And this is Strat Chat. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, however you like to receive your podcasts. But okay, so Big Brother Australia is back. Super, super excited about it. John and I got to cover the last season without Gina because she was doing more important things out there working, making that coin. So we're certainly excited to return down under because definitely love this version of the game. This one is coming with this love twist, which admittedly I did not think that I was going to like. And I went into this still expecting to not like it. I have to say by the end of this week, like I'm in it. Because I feel like it's adding a whole different layer to the way that people are nominating and maneuvering through the game. And I think it's going to get even more interesting as things go on, with people being a little bit more possessive over their partners and things like that. And that motivating some of the house nominations will certainly be interesting to see play out. What are you thinking on this whole the love theme?
I am enjoying it more than I thought I would have.
Hmm.
Um, and I do think it's like setting up some interesting stuff. Like, it would be interesting to see like two couples decide to team up and like become like a block of 4 votes or something like that in an eviction. Like it's
Hmm.
very because I feel like we're not getting like a ton of talk about alliances and stuff. Like we know that they're in there, but I feel like so much of the focus has been on like the couples and these blossoming romances that are happening and all that. And it's like I know it's having an impact on the gameplay. I just feel like we haven't gotten to see like a ton of that yet. But I feel like as the
Right.
season progresses, we'll get into that more. Like right now,
Me
they've just
too.
been like establishing those relationships, and I feel
Right.
like they're gonna have a big part in like what happens in the season. So
Hmm. And Jeans, what are you thinking? Because this is also your first experience really with Big Brother Australia. So even just the concept of house nominations and people earning points towards their nomination, like all this is new to you. So what are you thinking?
Right, that's what's so fun is that I really have nothing to compare this season's theme to because this is really all I know.
Hmm.
But I first of all love house nominations because I think it's so much more fun
Very fun.
than having like, I think we talked about this a little bit before, but like, in our Big Brother, we have the HOH, and that person now has all of the power. They get to make decisions based on what's good for their specific game, and they're going to put up, these two people. They get to play and veto. We already said that it was fun in Canada that the HOH doesn't get to play and veto. It takes a little bit of power away. I love, yeah, there are the people who win competitions who get to put people up, but also the house nominations are fun because you're getting a lot more of what the pulse of the game is for everybody. You're
Hmm.
not just getting what one person wants to do for their personal game. Everybody has a say in what's going to benefit them the best. And I think that makes for a lot more fun of a week than just like blindly following whatever this one person wants to do while they have power.
Right. Totally agree with that. And if there even is anything else to respect about like Bowie Jane's game, from Big Brother 25, we might have actually
Not
gotten some
Bowie
insight.
Jane.
Well, we might have gotten some insights to that if you had house nominations.
Yeah.
Like, because how many times do we say, I don't know what this woman is thinking. I don't know if she's doing a good job or not. Are you playing the
Which, to
game?
be fair, I don't think she really knew what she was thinking. But
No, but this would have forced her to think and at least talk it out, and we would have seen some of that. Then you can at least then make a proper determination of whether or not I'm supporting this person for a win. Yeah. So yeah, super interesting. Super interesting. So let's go through the people that are in the house, and and some that are not. Because the first one in alphabetical order would be Anna Sophia, unfortunately. Already gone. I think one of her best bits was really that failed breakfast with Lewis.
I love it. It made me laugh so freaking hard. I loved
Yeah,
that
like,
moment.
but yeah, she was definitely a light. If you didn't catch our post-eviction chat with her, you absolutely should. She is so personable, so bright and funny.
Yeah, she was a lot of fun.
She was a lot of fun. She was a lot of fun.
Definitely wanted to see more of her, but
Mhm.
because that was such a funny little bit in the beginning of the season with
It
her and
was.
Lewis, and obviously like it fizzled out pretty quickly. And Lewis, even though Lewis and Gracie May aren't really like a romantic thing, like as soon as like that breakfast went south, Lewis was immediately like, "I'm just gonna go hang out with Gracie May."
Like,
But even so, and that was what was so fun. Like one of the things that, we were talking to Anna Sophia about was what was so fun. We saw Gracie May tell her at the end of one of the episodes, like, don't worry, I will never let anything, I am not going to let you go out of this house on my watch. And then the immediate next thing that we see is her cozying up to Lewis. And we're like, well, wait a second. Like, is that why you're trying to get rid of Anna Sophia? Is this just like a house thing? Like, what's going on here?
And she also was the one standing right next to Anna Sophia as she was trying
Right.
to not make it obvious that she wasn't eating the breakfast. Gracie May's like, "What are you doing? You're not even eating that. Does it not taste good?" It's like, Gracie May.
We said it was so reminiscent of Wafflegate on
Yes.
freaking BB Can, but this stuff is so much fun.
Really, really fun. I have so much to say about Gracie May. I can't wait to get to her.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I literally tweeted at you before. I don't know if you saw it. If I am working the night that we get to speak to her, I'm calling out. Like,
Yep.
I have to talk
Honestly,
to Gracie May.
I can't wait. I can't wait. She's a hoot and a half. The next person we've got up, this is John's girl, recently evicted Annalise. She had a rough start to the game, didn't she? She was pretty miffed.
Oh yeah.
She wanted that door on the right, damn it. And Dion said, no, absolutely not. That's the one that I want to walk through. So then they did their little rock, paper, scissors bit. And she did not take the W. So she had to go through. So she had to go through the door on the left, much to her chagrin. And honestly, it was pretty much downhill from there, right? The story really didn't improve much, right? She got in there. She didn't seem like she was turning a lot of people around because she ended up being nominated for eviction, famously by Luke. But
Which
before that,
I know. Okay,
she was
okay.
nominated by
before that, it was
the house before that.
the
Yeah.
house put her up. And I wonder what some of the motivation even was around that, because I don't feel like there was super context, was there?
Well, I mean, the only thing that I can think is the clothes, because that happened. Was that no?
That
I'm an
no,
idiot.
that was
happened
was
because
because
she was
yeah.
right. I
I'm
don't
all
know
turned
what
around. There's so much information
Yes.
in my head right now.
Yeah, I don't know what the actual event was that pushed the house to want her up there. Unless they didn't like her continued carrying on about the train.
I think that's what I'm thinking it was, especially like because we saw Dion like right before Annalise got evicted. He started to seem like maybe I should help this girl, like maybe I should try to get some votes for her or whatever. But I think before that, like he was definitely working against her because he was afraid. And that first like nominations challenge, whatever that, like the forgotten four, the last four off the train, he was very nervous that Annalise was going to win. And I think his mindset was like all about, I got to get this girl out of here. Like, I hope she doesn't win. And I feel like that was kind of like a common feeling through the house, I think.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, her performance in that nominations challenge was very intimidating. because she was a very strong second, wasn't she? She was
She
second.
was
Yeah.
right there. Yeah.
she was right there, and it's like, if I'm looking back and I see that, yeah, I'm scared. I'm a little shook. I'm
Yeah.
shook.
She definitely first on the train, last off the train. My Annalise deserves better.
Right. You would have stopped the train for her, wouldn't you? Well, you probably would have let her go through the right side door.
Oh, I would have let her done whatever she wanted.
And not because you're very chivalrous, right? That's what it is.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. Obviously, that's why.
Just want to be I just want to be respectful of my queen.
Listen, she's smoking hot. There's no shame.
I know she really is smoking
shame.
hot.
Smoking hot. Even when she spoke to us, wasn't it like 8 a.m.? You would never have believed it.
Yeah, I was like, how did you just roll out of bed looking this good?
No,
What the hell?
she literally woke up like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fantastic. Maybe we can get her back. Just talk.
She was a lot of
fun.
She was a lot of
fun.
fun.
Honestly, everyone that we've talked to has been so much fun.
Honestly, very true. Yeah, I have no complaints so far. No complaints. Dion is next. We kind of touched on him a little bit.
Whoa. We brushed right past the Luke situation.
It's such old news now.
Oh, I thought we would get to the Luke situation when we talk about Luke.
Oh, we talk about Luke.
We can do that. We can do that. Okay.
So Dion's here. And we did touch on him a little bit, because obviously the whole door thing with Annalise. I think he's very attractive. I think his personality is just like unbelievable. Like, I love his energy, and he seems so much fun.
I have to be so honest. I am way more endeared to him at this point than I expected to be in our first couple of episodes. I really did not think I was going to like him at all.
Yeah, I adore him. I have no notes. He's great.
I really like Dion also, and like it's the kind of thing where it's I think everybody in the house had the same feeling. Like, this guy's going to be loud and annoying. He's just going to be up in everybody's business, and it's like, now I feel like I can't imagine the house without Dion.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even just in the first couple of episodes, I almost feel like he was getting like a villain's edit. And I was like, oh, this guy's going to be like, a shit starter. He's going to be like, whatever. And then in the last couple of episodes, he is like the life of the party. He's so much fun. He's so like goofy. I really, really enjoy him.
Yeah. And I would like to see something happen between him and Taylor, especially because, he was very true to this whole thing. He's the one who took her off the train in the very beginning, now had that right to now save somebody from eviction and bring them to Big Brother's speakeasy. And he took her. Seems like he's into her. Like, she doesn't seem not so much, but it's reading more as friends. But like, I kind of hope a little bit more, because I feel like Dion deserves some love.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like, I hope that does happen, because we know that as long as Dion's in the house, we're going to be getting plenty of Dion. But I feel like we have not gotten anywhere near enough of Taylor yet. And I feel like if they
barely
form
know
a
her.
connection, if they form a connection, I feel like we'll get to know her a lot better. So
yeah,
I would love that happened.
Which, speaking of, this whole BB speakeasy was so like stupid in the best possible way. Every time that they would show clips of like, and this is what their night has looked like, and it was just like the montage of things they've been doing that night, I was like, this is idiotic, and I could watch an entire episode of literally just this.
And then just partying all night. And I also was very drawn to the other people in the scene. I'm like, who are these people? And where do they find them? Right? And it's like, if I was in Australia, I would want to be one of those people. Like, oh my gosh, like tonight, I'm going to be part of this like little twist. You might see me in the background. I'm going to the Big Brother speakeasy.
This would be one of those
drinking
like
and dancing with people I don't know all night. How fun!
This would be one of those, like, they do a casting call where you have to get there at like 10 a.m. I would be there at like 2 a.m. the night before. Like, I'm gonna freaking be in this.
So funny.
That whole thing was funny to me too, because like, it's something that we would never get in our Big Brother, because you can't just bring a bunch of random people in the house. Everybody's supposed to be cut off, and it's like, I wonder what these people were told. Obviously it's different because they pre-record this. It's not like the people they were bringing in know what's going on in the season, but like, it's just something that you never expect to see in Big Brother, like a whole bunch of people from the outside world being brought in to like kind of be part of the background of the game. But I just can't believe they were in there for 36 hours.
I don't.
36
They kept being like, "Oh no, like you can't sleep or you can't like whatever," and then like if you miss the eviction, and I'm sitting there like, "Wait a second, is the eviction tonight? Like, do I just have to like party for like a couple of hours?" And then as the episodes kept going, I was like, "Are they still in there? Like what?" Like, I feel like the eviction happened and a whole day went by and they were still missing. I was like, "Let
Yeah.
them go home."
I enjoyed everybody looking for them all around the
Yeah.
house with just no explanation, just gone.
Though it
Um,
also did seem like it took them a really, really long time to notice. Like they were going to bed that night and they're like, "Wait a second. The hell's Dion?" I was like, "Did you not notice he was gone this whole time? He's quite a character."
That's the thing about it. Like if somebody like a little bit more quiet was like missing for a little while, I could kind of see that. But Dion, I mean, he has always been the life of the party. Even just with Taylor coming into the house, he asserted himself that way. He's always standing on things, shouting and announcing things, and it's like, how did you not recognize that that wasn't happening? Like, yeah,
I also, I loved that they had to sneak into that little, you had to go into the pantry, sneak through the little doorway. Like, we need more like secret rooms and
we
stuff like
do.
that in BBUS because this was so much fun. So much fun. This whole thing, I thought was awesome.
I was
Yeah.
And it
also
was like,
laughing so hard because like Taylor didn't even like. I feel like if it was me, I'd be like, "What are you doing? Why?" Like I would be so loud about like, "Where are you taking me?" She was just like, "Oh, and oh wait, yeah, we're going in here. Oh, okay, okay." And she just kind of like yes ended the whole situation, never asked any questions. I was like, "You are very trusting of this man." I'd be like, "What are
I
you
love it.
doing?"
I loved it.
yeah, that
Wow.
was a lot of fun.
All right, so that's that on Dion. Hearts, hearts, hearts. Next up, Gracie May. Woo!
Gracie
Love,
May.
love, love her.
I am
I mean,
obsessed with Gracie.
yes, I mean, you can even look in the background of certain scenes where she's not featured, and like there's just something nutty going on with her. Like she is fantastic television. I am so incredibly endeared towards her. The relationship with her and Lewis is so super cute. Like even that date they went on with the tennis balls hitting them and everything. I
Oh
mean,
my
she's
god.
just such a joy to watch. Love her. Just absolutely love Gracie May.
Yeah, she's awesome. I loved when her and Luke won their competition too, and she was like, "Oh, I'm becoming a little cop beast." Like the way she said it, like it was so funny.
Yeah.
And I love her and Lewis's relationship. Like I know that they've been saying it's more like a brother sister type of thing, but like I really want them to be like a couple. I feel like they're so perfect. Like,
Yeah. They're really cute. They're really, really cute.
I loved the moment where like it was literally a nothing moment, just one of those little like filler things, but like when she was like trying to do flips on the couch and she was like, and now say it, and Gracie May doing a trick, just announce me. Like she's like this whole thing, there's like doing cartwheels on the couch. I was like, it's literally giving like the 5-year-old of like, "Mom, look what I can do," you know?
Yes, she is so much fun. And she is like a reason to really campaign for like feeds because she would be the most fun to watch like all day long. Like
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
She made me laugh a lot too, where like there was that whole challenge where they had to be positive for like an entire day or whatever it was. And like it was her and everybody's trying so hard to be like, "Oh, I love this. I'm having so much fun doing this thing that I absolutely don't want to do." Every time you put her anywhere near that clown, she was like, "I don't like the way he's looking at me. I don't get I'm not
Honestly,
walking past him. I don't like it."
hers was by far the worst. Like, I mean, I also am like deathly afraid of clowns. Like clowns like absolutely freak me out. That clown was like tearing ass down the hallway chasing her.
Yes.
Like, how are you
Yeah,
not screaming?
no,
I was like,
that was
yay! Like that is horrifying. Okay,
a bad one, but
horrifying.
to say it was the worst when the snake happened, I don't know if I can co-sign the clown
The
being the
snake's
worst one.
nothing. Come
The
on.
snake is
Oh no.
nothing. The
Oh,
snake
no,
was
no, no,
nothing
no.
because, like, that, like, they're not on a show going to put a snake in there that has any chance of actually biting you. They're not poisonous. Like, this is
Listen,
going to,
man, this is Australia. Okay, they have monsters there. I can clock
they
that like
do, but
that
they also
snake was
have like
probably the
lawsuits.
I understand that like that snake was probably the least scary thing in Australia that they could have put in that room, but I still don't trust that that thing's not gonna kill me. They have spiders the size of my head in Australia. I don't
No
like it.
way. Wherever they found this snake, they definitely got it from like some place. They didn't just like go outside and find a snake. Like, like they went to find like I don't know, for lack of a better word, like a domesticated snake.
What was funny about this too is because like the snake was for Jake, right? Wasn't it his fear?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And he was definitely freaking out about it, and yet somehow, like, the biggest freak out we've had in recent seasons on Big Brother Australia is still Alicia and her chicken fear. the freak out.
I would like some context, please.
That was way worse than the clown thing, because you know I also have such an aversion to birds. So Alicia,
Yes.
so this, but honest, oh my god, yeah, that was I had a hard time even watching it. My breathing was and still is belabored. I can't catch my breath. So so she's like super scared of chickens and everything, and they put her in this situation where she had to like have chicken feed on her and allow the chickens to like eat it off of her. Are you kidding? And she was like, no, don't do this to me. She's like, don't do this to me, big brother. And she's like, but she was still such a like champ and like handled this like an absolute boss, because she still went through with it. Like, she had the hardest time doing so. It is really the most comical thing like to watch, but also wasn't, because I was screaming with her. Like, and I would have just said,
yeah,
no,
I don't know about that.
I am not doing this. There's no way I would allow any bird to be pecking on me. Like, God, absolutely not. If I see a pigeon, I cross the street. That's like what we're talking about.
I love Alicia. Oh god.
Yeah. No, that was by far the worst. Yeah, so well, big ups to Alicia. Is that an Gracie May though?
Oh yeah, right.
I mean, I feel like realistically we could talk about Gracie May for 2 episodes worth of content, but I feel like we have to kind of put a stop to it.
But I do enjoy her. We enjoy her greatly. Definitely rooting for a Gracie May W. Yes. Nice we mentioned the snake before, because that was actually Jake's issue. That was his thing to deal with in the diary room. Listen, I like Jake. Okay. I know that on our failed record from the other night, some you guys not feeling as hot on him because he was messing up Ari's name, but I really think that was just an early game flub. He seems to really be into her, especially now that we see what's going on between her and TJ and how dejected he feels. So I think it was always genuine, and he was just.
But again, like, I could maybe accept that if she was like the only girl he was talking to and she kind of looks like her sister and you're confusing the two girls. He had like 3 girls that he was talking to. He had told her like, you are the girl for, like, she was like, oh, like, lock me down. And he was like, yes, like, you're the one that I want to like spend this time with, blah, blah, blah. Like, fully like quote unquote committed to her. And then immediately left the room and was like, yeah, what's her name again? I was like, Jake. No, come on.
See, but the issue here though is that you are taking the tack of like, because this is the guy. If this was flipped and it was a female talking to 3 different guys, you would not be.
I would still think it's messy to not know his name.
Yeah, but I don't think you'd be as bothered. It's just like, oh, okay, well, she just made a mistake, and it's like we're not really like when you look at where he is now with the entire thing.
I mean, yeah, are you where he is now? But at the time, I was like, my guy.
But it also isn't anything. I mean, like when you look at like. I hate that I'm using this as an argument to defend anything. But when you look at a show like Love Island or something like that, where the entire purpose is to be moving around, this is the House of Love. Why am I locking down to anything? We just got here. I'm still learning names before I have to I have to declare.
Yes, but then why did he lock her down? He immediately was like, yes, no, yeah, it is you. You are the and then even like there was that game where like I think it was one of the question box things where like he had to choose like whoever he wants to like spend more time with or whatever. And he said Ari, and Monet immediately was like, excuse me? Like, we've been talking this whole time. What are you talking about?
Don't act like Monet and anything.
I know.
Yeah, that's almost as bad an example of bringing up Love Island. So like, I'm sorry, like because the way that Monet has been,
in hindsight,
way crazy. So debunked.
I just feel like for me the funniest thing about the name thing with Jake was just that like there was a point in one of his DRs where he was like, why can't anyone just have normal names in here, like a name like Lucy? And I was like, that's the same amount of syllables as Ari, and it's less letters.
It's actually one less letter. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But like, that's what was funny to me. But I also feel like I do agree, like, God, like this is House of Love. Everybody's in there, like, kind of getting with somebody, trying to hook up with somebody. All these girls are talking to Jake. he seems like kind of an airhead. I like him, but like I'm
That's
not
why I
really
don't think it was
surprised. Yeah,
innocent. He
yeah.
is
I don't.
giving to me like almost like he looks like I'm like a child's big day in the city. Like he's looking around like, oh wow, hi. Like he's just taking everything in like an excited puppy.
And
And it's like,
I feel that even more so after our little conversation with Annalise, in which we learned that he had to be taught how to make his bed.
yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, this is Jake's big day out. Like I don't think he
yeah.
means any harm. I think he's a
No,
I
I
sweet,
do.
agree.
sweet nugget. Yeah.
Given what we've seen in the most recent episode, I do kind of feel for him a little bit. Like I am a little bit more
Okay.
endeared
All
towards
right.
him,
Yeah.
looking at the way that
Come
certain
on back. Come on
conversations,
back.
the way certain conversations were handled weren't great.
Yeah, I also like okay, he was the only one that we really were shown having difficulty with names, and I think a lot of that was probably due to like comedic value. Like it was him caught in this whole trap of this web of love with these three girls that were all giving him attention. um and you know what, like, we've seen scenes with Ari where she's talking about how other guys in the house are hot and stuff. Like, I think that a lot of what we saw from Jake, we might have seen from other people too, but Jake's situation was just the funniest. So that's what we got of that. There's so much that we're not seeing that, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't the only one in there that couldn't remember somebody's name.
Okay. I'm happy with the defense of Jake. I'm happy. I thought I was going to be on island. I'm
Love
feel like I'm
Island.
getting a little support. Ooh. Um, next up is Josh. Josh was our first king. Getting to share the king and queen suite with that was with Tay, right? Because he seems to be matched with Tay.
Yes.
I don't have a lot of thoughts on him. He seems nice.
Yeah, he's another one that I feel like we just don't have enough on. We haven't seen a ton of
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like his personality, because he's obviously had time to, like, him and Tay were the first king and queen. Like, he was one of the first people in the house. Like, I feel like, like there's been moments for us to kind of see him, but I don't think that he's like a very loud or like vocal person. I feel
Right.
like that's his thing, is to kind of sit back a little bit more.
And just be
Like
chill.
and like he was also nominated. Like, he's been involved in the game, but like I feel like he just hasn't really given us much.
Mm-mm. I did like the moment that he went, even though he had voted for Luke to be up for eviction, he still did go to console him. He's like, I don't like to see anybody be sad, so I'm going to go talk to this guy. And like he looked like the only person to really have done so, which certainly endeared me towards him. But that's the really only, like, that and winning the suite is real big moments. Because even when he was up for eviction, like he didn't get any votes,
Yeah.
right? Or
Yeah.
maybe he got one. Like he's not really on anyone's radar, not really making any waves. Seems fine.
Yeah. Yeah, he just seems like more of a quiet guy, I think.
Yeah. Not many notes. Not many notes. All right. So Lewis is next. We kind of touched on him a little bit for his friendship with Gracie May. He also made that breakfast for Anna Sophia really because she had told Big Brother that she had some eyes on him when he was during his time on the BB Express. That's kind of what started that whole little thing. He also seems very nice. I'm endeared towards him. I like that he paints his nails. Very cute.
He's just like a goofy little man.
Yeah,
You know?
I like him.
He's
I
so
just thought
fun to watch.
yeah, he's fun. I like him.
He makes me feel like if he was in the house last season, him and Taras would have been like,
Oh my
buds.
God, best friends.
Right? I feel like they would have gotten along. He has that same sort of like weird, quirky, funny personality, I think. So
Yeah. Just he makes me smile. Nice guy, nice man. I look forward to talking to him. Luke is next. We spoke to him last night.
yeah.
I really like Luke. I liked him even more after we chatted with him yesterday. But I liked him. He was winning challenges. Nice on the eyes. No complaints here.
He was really playing the game in a game where it felt like so many of the house guests or housemates, are kind of caught up in these relationships and trying to like, hook up with somebody, like he felt like one of the only people that was really playing the game, like the way Big Brother as we know it in the US like is played.
Right.
So
he did have some interest in Annalise.
I know. I just feel like this is one of those things that we're never gonna see eye to eye on. But I still have such a bad taste in my mouth about all that. I don't know. I really didn't like that.
Well, what? So now he should also protect her because, like, I mean, like, I don't know.
It's not just that. It's like, if you're going to sit there and say that, because he said it in his interview last night too. Like, if this is somebody that you have said, like, I want to play the game with you, I want to go far with you, like in a game relationship. And also, if it seemed like she was somebody that was just important to him in a friend way. And then something simple as like, when you're in a position of power to put people up for nomination and you ask her on a date, and she says no, now you say, okay, well then I'm going to evict you. Like, she's not obligated to say yes just because, like,
course.
like it puts her in a bad position because it's like, all right, well, do I say yes to something I don't actually want to do because the person in power could send me home? Or do I say no because I really don't feel that way?
I hear that. I just don't know if I can agree with it because I think I might agree more if he was the only person making nominations. Gracie May said it.
I'm not saying it was just him,
No, but,
I mean,
but that's why I don't know why he's getting all the blowback for this. Because like the other side to this is that we don't know the full extent of the conversations that happened between Luke and Gracie May. So if Gracie May is saying, well, what about Annalise? She just rejected me on a date. I'm not going to now defend her. You say her, that's fine. Yeah, I can back that one.
Yeah, I think Gracie May.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not saying that Luke is. I'm not saying Luke's the only person that was responsible for it, but it's just, I don't know. Like
listen. I'm sure it didn't help that Annalise didn't want to go on a date with him. But when the person that I have to choose, nominations with, the first thing that she says when we walk into the DR is, yeah, well, there's one name that's really been rubbing people the wrong way, Annalise. What's the guy supposed to do now? Like Kyle said, I'm like, well, maybe I won't fight as hard for you.
I have absolutely no reason to go to bat for you, other than now, because it's almost like what you're suggesting, Gina, is that now, like, oh, well, because I don't want to be seen as rejecting her from the date, that now I shouldn't, and I should like not like. What do you do in that situation though? What is the other side?
Wait, what do you mean? Repeat the question.
Well, because you're saying like, oh, it still feels icky because like, oh, because she didn't go on this date with him and all this, and it's like, but should he also then now not do it because of the rejected date? Like, what is the other answer?
I don't like the piece to it that like I'm having a disconnect with is the fact that like it seemed like they were at the very least aligned, even like they clearly had like a good personal connection, but it also just seemed like they were two people that wanted to play the game together. And you saw, Gracie May saying like, these are the people that are my non-negotiables. And he was just like, oh yeah, fine, put up Annalise. And I mean, she clearly had a lot of like feelings about it, about being burned. And
of course,
I don't think that he should have now been in a position where he cannot say her name or else it is bad. But it's the fact that he already had a game relationship with her as well as a personal relationship. It rubs me the wrong way.
So would you not question, if this was me in this situation, I would now question whether or not you're going to move forward with me in the same way in this game because we brought this here, because we added this other element to this. Like, are you still gonna ride in this game with me now? Or is this now going to be awkward? How much can I trust this?
I hear that. I don't know. I feel like that could have been a conversation rather than just an immediate nomination. Maybe, of course we don't see everything though. Because, and
had to go in the room and nominate.
And there's no feeds in Australia, so we don't know if maybe like there was some kind of a something, but I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like I get the whole thing of like, we have a personal relationship. Maybe Annalise and Luke were aligned, but if the entire house, according to Gracie May, not Luke, Gracie May, Annalise is rubbing everyone in the house the wrong way. And we were just talking about how Luke is one of the only people in there actually playing the game of Big Brother as we know it. Is he going to now say, all right, I'll forget all these people that might work that with me somewhere down the road because I'm going to protect Annalise, the person that's rubbing the entire house the wrong way. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I would put her up. Like if it was me, because I'm not going to go against what you're saying. If you're telling me that the house wants this and the house is kind of like she's rubbing the entire house wrong, why would I not go with that? Like to now say, oh no, well, like don't do it because I'm working with her. And it's like, does that make me look good? There's a lot of layers to this because of the date.
No,
If
I'm
that
not saying
wasn't
it's like a
there,
black and white
yeah,
issue.
no. Oh no, and I don't think it is either. And I think that it's kind of what makes it interesting, where this love thing is going to really make this so much more complicated, especially because this wasn't even a love. It's not like this is something that happened and like failed. It never even got off the ground. And look how much conversation we can have around it. So I can't wait to see when these relationships start to go to hell.
Yeah, I was gonna say it makes me really interested for when like that
Right.
first relationship somebody backstabs their showmans.
Yeah, it's gonna be really good. And
Which
actually,
I don't know that given the way that things are going, I feel like we're not too far off.
I don't think we are too far off. And actually, right in line with what's now up next is Louis, because I didn't have a lot of strong feelings for or against Louis. I didn't really feel like we were seeing a lot of him, other than the fact that Monet was like, just very interested in him. But now, after they had this punishment and they had to be in this three-legged thing, and now, of course, this is another one that while they said these people were drawn at random, they weren't.
Oh, there was a 0% chance. And like, at least I almost feel like in this situation, they're not even pretending it was at random. Like every time that we see some kind of like a pairing of people or like a Q&A type situation, it is always the messiest possible combination of people.
Mhm.
Production is in there like, this would be fun for me.
Oh, no,
Like
absolutely.
I feel like it is marketed as Big Brother is starting shit,
Yeah. So like Bella, as soon as she kind of came into the house, like she was showing some interest in Louis, which obviously to Monet's chagrin. So obviously, to our whole point, Big Brother makes sure that now it's Bella and Louis that are sharing this three-legged pants situation. And Monet just carrying on the way that she did. What made me endear towards Louis in this is that you didn't actually see him like really react to a lot of that. Like he looked like he was still trying to be reassuring, even though you can clearly see that he was annoyed. And it wasn't until the punishment was over that he then had a conversation with her in private about how she was making him feel. And I thought that was just a very, very mature way of handling that. And it
Absolutely.
really made me fall in love with Louis.
Because she, like,
Yeah.
it was out of respect for Bella too, and freaking Dion, who was just kind of in it for, like, unfortunately
Poor
tied to
Dion.
it.
Oh.
Poor Dion.
Poor
But like,
Deanna and poor Bella too, because she never actually did anything wrong.
right, but
Right.
like at least Bella was somewhat involved. Dion was just kind of there,
Yeah,
like had to
yeah.
be a part of it. But like again, like the way that he handled it was so respectful of Bella, of like, I know you're not actually doing anything wrong, so I'm not gonna cause this big blow up while you literally have to be here tied to me. Like, yeah, I'm gonna wait until I could pull her aside and talk to her privately.
Mm.
They were doing so much for Monet, like even the fact that they tried to get into this little bed, the four of them, they can't even like really turn on their sides because because they're in these three-legged pants, like, and just so that Louis and Monet could sleep together. And it's just like, and she's still like just freaking out about the whole thing. That was crazy, but I agree. I do like Louis. I don't know, for some reason he reminds me. Who's the act? You guys know the actor that plays PETA in Hunger Games?
Oh, Josh Hutcherson.
Really?
Look at him. Look at him. He looks. I don't know. For some reason, he reminds me of him.
I don't see that at all, but I love that for you.
I'm gonna do a side by side of them. I'm gonna do a side by side picture and send it to you guys later.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't totally see it either, but we'll see. We'll see. I can't say that's a face I've
There's
seen recently. So
there's someone he reminds me of. I haven't been able to place who it is yet. I
Hmm.
can't like pinpoint it, but there is something familiar about him. It's not Josh Hutcherson, but I don't know.
I will. The only thing I'll say about Monet during this whole thing, because she was so jealous of Bella, doing her like cartwheels or whatever, is that Monet did look very good doing those splits. That's it. That's all I have.
Well, Monet looks very good doing everything because she's another gorgeous, gorgeous girl.
Like all of these people are so hot. They literally like, of course, everyone's gonna be mad at each other and jealous of each other.
I will say there was a little bit of foundation too, though, before the three-legged thing, because you had that show affection kiss cam task as well. That Big Brother
I
made sure that Bella
loved.
had,
I love the kiss cam.
yeah, and made sure that Bella and Louis had to show affection as well.
Yeah.
So which obviously Monet, did not like then too. So like there was a little bit of a foundation for it, but still
You
not
know what's actually
initiated by Bella.
right? And you know what's actually very interesting about this that I'm just thinking about too is that when Bella first came into the house, Monet and her were sitting outside by the pool, and Monet made this comment that Bella just like didn't respond to. When Monet, well, at least editing wise, it looked like this because Monet was like, "Did you ever notice that like really beautiful girls just never get as jealous as like the not pretty ones?" And then we had a full episode of just Monet being jealous of Bella. Like,
I wanted to bring that up when we got to Monet because that's one of my favorite things about this is the fact that she specifically said, like, yeah, well, I noticed that like pretty girls don't get jealous of each other. And I was like, not you being the most jealous person out of every single person in this cast.
Really tough. Well, I mean, she's next anyway. That's alphabetical.
There you go.
God, look at her. Jeez.
I mean, yeah, like how is she jealous of anybody?
I know. Gosh. My God. She really, another one takes your breath away, Miss Monet. Ah, that worked.
she's gonna end up losing Louis with how she's acting.
She is. However, I don't know that that's going to really bother her very much because she did seem to be very interested in the second male intruder. I don't even remember his name.
Ali.
Omni. That's the that's how MTA Transit.
MTA Transit.
Terrible.
Oh my God.
But yeah, she seems to be very interested in him. So
first O name that you think of, Omni.
I don't really know any O names other than like Osvaldo.
Oliver.
I guess. Oh, Oscar.
Yeah.
Kyle, you are coming out of here with the most obscure names I've ever heard in my life.
Well, I'm very close to an Osvaldo, so that would say, it's like an call him Ozzy.
There you go.
But that's only O's. I don't really know a lot of O's. That's not what we're talking about anyway. We're talking about Monet. But that's actually I don't really have much more for Monet. She was obviously none too chuffed when her clothes fell into the pool. Thanks to Big Brother production and Annalise's.
Oh yeah, all the dry cleaning, right? She had all the dry cleaning.
She was very upset.
She's like looking at her shoes sinking to the bottom, like, "I'll come get you, babies. I'm so sorry." It's like, girl,
this is $1,000 here. It's like that's the only thing I really remember about her. That and the jealousy. So excited to see another side of Monet, something a little bit more. And maybe we'll get that when she starts winning some challenges and stuff. I want to see like what she actually thinks about the game.
Right. That's the thing. Like so many of the people that we even do know because we've been seeing them more, we still have no idea what they actually think about playing this game.
Right.
But
yeah. Well, speaking of which, Quan is next. We barely knew ye. We had a really fun post-eviction chat with her. Like another one, a very beautiful, bright, personable personality, and very funny. Like we laughed a lot talking to her. But unfortunately, other than her steamy moment in the premiere, we didn't really get to see anything of Quan.
We should have asked her about that steamy moment because I think her task was to like, act out like the steamiest kiss you've ever had. We should have been like, who were you thinking about when you were doing that kiss?
I also just loved so much. I love that she doubled down when you guys interviewed her on her, like, well, I mean, like, is the train really the worst thing that's ever happened to you? It really wasn't that bad.
Right.
She was
like, I mean, they're still alive.
She was probably like, honestly, and like just because of that, she's probably like she was one of the most like real people in there, probably. Like she's definitely been on like a long road trip in a hot car with her family, driving somewhere, just feeling like I gotta get out of here. Like she would have been good on that train. She would have been having a ball, I bet.
Should have been fine. And that was it. Thank you, Quan.
Quan.
Next up are the sisters, Tay and Ari. Even them, I still feel like I don't know much about them as like people. You just really just
I
know
mean,
like the relationships that they're in, like as far as Tay hanging out with Josh and being like the first queen, right? In the king and queen suite. And then Ari with her stuff, with Jake, and now
I
seemingly
don't know.
TJ.
I feel like we're getting a lot more of Ari. Tay, I know almost nothing about, but I feel like we've gotten quite a bit of Ari.
Yeah, but what do you know about her as a person, though? Like personally, like I just don't feel like I know her. Like you look at Gracie May, and I know she's a very fun character. We've had like fun bits with her. Everything with Ari has just been like boy related. That's
Yeah,
kind of what I
Jake,
mean.
and now
Yeah,
TJ. Yeah.
yeah. I want to know. I want to see what makes you funny, and what are you cooking? Like I just want to know you.
It also
Yeah,
it
that's
makes
fair.
sense to me. It makes sense to me that like Tay we don't know much about because we talked about how Josh seems like just super low key and quiet and they're hanging out. And I will say also we might see more of them now because the first batch of episodes that we watched, they were in this king and queen suite, so every night they were separated from the rest of the
Hmm.
housemates and
Hmm.
um so maybe now that they're in like the main bedroom and stuff like that and like maybe they had to move all their clothes in there too. Like maybe now they'll be getting changed in there, sleeping in there, and we'll see more like interaction from them. Like I don't know with the rest of the housemates, but
Which, on a sidebar, can I also just say I hate that every single person shares the one bedroom? That like really skews me out. I do not like that.
I think it's
Mm.
great. It's less rooms for people to hide in, and like makes it very risky to talk game and stuff like that. Even though there's not a ton of game being talked right now, it feels like. But
I think it's specifically because this season is like love themed and couple themed that I don't like it. Because even like in Our Big Brother, there are bedrooms where like multiple people sleep in, but I don't know. I don't love the one big bedroom.
Hmm. I hadn't
what do you
given
think
it
of
a
the huge?
thought.
What do you think of the big bathroom with no door on any of the showers or anything?
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of butts on this season, a lot more than I bargained for.
A lot of butt. A lot of butt.
A lot about. There was a fun moment that we did kind of gloss over because I mean Jake was part of it too. Big Brother selected Jake and Ari to go on that very steamy date, and
Right,
they were
right,
in
right,
the
right, right.
hottest restaurant in BB's house, where obviously the temperature was turned way up. Everything was super spicy. Um, that was a fun segment,
That was
but
fun.
I was
yeah,
cry laughing at that. Like her just like above like the like on top of the ice heart being like,
ice
no, like
cold, yeah,
it's not funny. I need this.
And now we
yeah.
know it was all for nothing. That
Well,
whole
maybe
date.
not. Maybe not. Because so obviously, for those of you who are not caught up, obviously Ari and TJ were selected to be in the three-legged pants together. And that ended up now leading to her saying that she wants to kind of get to know TJ a little bit and spend some more time. I still didn't view this as a dumping, though. I understand that it would not feel good as Jake like to hear because you kind of thought you were going down a different path, but it didn't feel like a complete rejection. It's also just like, can we just slow this down because this is supposed to be the house of love? So I just want to go
I,
see what's going on over here.
I also was shook at the way that this happened because in order for like the pairings to work out or whatever, they ended up being the two that went into the king and queen suite because Bella had to do the whole like Monet sleeping arrangements.
Right.
And you see like Ari and TJ having that conversation of like, him trying to like cuddle up to her or whatever. And what she said was, yeah, yeah, no, we'll sort it out tomorrow. We'll sort it out tomorrow. And I expected that meant they were just going to go to sleep. And she literally was like, well, yeah, we'll sort it out tomorrow. And immediately grabbed his face and started vigorously making out with him. And I was like, whoa, aren't you? Wait a second. Like, how are you doing this before you have that conversation? That was crazy.
Well, you know what? To your other point, though, I mean, they all are in just that one big bedroom. You've got this one night, you're separated from everyone. Not gonna let this go. let's go. Let's do this. Let's see if this is even worth having a conversation about tomorrow.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe I
Just feel
changed my
bad
mind.
for, just feel bad for Jake. He worked so hard to remember that name. Finally did it.
Finally
Now
did
it's
it,
all
took her on this
crumbling down.
date. Yeah.
I did feel for Jake. I felt for Jake.
Yeah, especially because this may not have gone down this way had it not been for the punishment.
Yeah.
They may
And you
not
know
have
what?
gotten that time together.
I will say another thing about Jake that I liked in this situation is that I feel like a lot of other guys, maybe even guys in this house, for all we know, would have maybe taken what Ari said in like a really negative way and gotten like angry and loud and aggressive. And like, I feel like the way Jake handled it was just very like, you could tell that he's like a kind of a nice, sensitive, like emotional type of guy, because I felt like, the way he took it was just very like, kind of like, he just made it just made you feel so bad for him, because you could tell he was like so hurt, but he wasn't getting really like angry. He was just like upset, it was like,
right.
I don't know. That was like another reason. Yeah. Another reason I was like, a little more endeared to Jake than I was in the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's sweet. I think he does mean well.
Yeah.
And I also think he's like really cute. So there is that too.
There it is.
Well, I'm honest about it. Here's Taylor. She was also selected to be, well, not selected to be on BB Express. She just went through the wrong door, but she was taking it like a champ, even though her wine spilled. I remember that very clearly.
Yes.
Yes, the poor thing. Also worth mentioning, Dion did stop the train to remove her, and this is who we were referring to before. Also, that was up for elimination, but he took her to BB's speakeasy and kept her safe. What else do we know about her? Single mom, right? So
yeah, that's
looking to
right.
make that coin to provide for her family. And I'm endeared towards her. I think I like her. I haven't seen anything that makes me turns me off in any way.
I do like her. She's another one that like only very recently do I feel like we're seeing any of her. It was really just like the Dion like speakeasy thing that like I really started to see more of her. I'm looking forward to seeing more like as the season goes. But yeah, I feel like we haven't really gotten enough of her yet.
Yeah, she's cute.
She is cute. I would love if her and Dion became something that would be fun. And I just don't think we've gotten enough of Taylor yet, but I also feel like I want to give her a little credit for some stuff that's shaken up the house recently, because I do think it was like a big deal when Luke left. And if she doesn't answer that question from the big pink box about, who's flying under the radar the most, and bringing up Luke and like explaining why she felt that way, about how he's winning competitions and he's nominating people and this and that, and this and that, like Taylor, in a way, has almost made like one of the biggest moves in the house so far. I feel like,
Yeah, and I didn't get that wasn't like really intentional. I felt like that wasn't really like a strategic thing. I kind of felt like that was just, I'm just answering honestly. I didn't really actually realize it was going to cause all of this.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it was like not really like a direct shot at anybody, but like she just spoke her mind, and it kind of, I think, shook up the game a little bit. Luke might have still been voted out or whatever, but I felt like it just felt like the tone shifted and all of the attention was on Luke and no one else at that point. Like,
yeah. Well, I guess that's it. Crashing halt. Damn. Zach is next. Our dolphin trainer.
Yeah.
My favorite dolphin trainer.
Yeah. Other than that, there wasn't a whole lot that really happened with him either, unfortunately.
I mean, he was up for elimination, every single time?
Every single time.
Or at least most of them.
But there were no fights or anything around it. It didn't seem like that was really charged by anything like specific. You can't say it was over challenge wins or like things like that. So like, I don't really know what was the cause of that. Like, why was he on anyone's radar? Do you recall anything?
I think Luke put him up in the first, nominations that, whoever won the competition won. And then I think it became like a little bit of that, you've been up already, so
it's easy.
We'll just keep putting you up. Yeah.
Right.
But I do think, and while I have liked the House of Love theme more than I expected to, I do think we're being done a little bit of a disservice, because I feel like if you're not involved in a couple in any way, like I think about Quan, and I think about Zach, like I feel like we didn't get to see enough of them. And then the people that did leave, like Annalise wasn't really with anyone, but she did have the thing with Luke. And and then we have Anna Sophia, and like one of the main things we talked about with her was her failed breakfast with Lewis. It's like, if you're not like either in a relationship or maybe toying with the idea of a relationship, I feel like we're not necessarily getting enough of some of these people, because I really like everybody. Like I really like Zach, but I feel like, I wish we saw more of him. So
One thing I did really appreciate about Zach too, because we saw one of the times that he was nominated, he was very much not about like campaigning. He was kind of like on the block, and he was like, I'm not going to kiss everybody's ass to get them to vote my way. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't care enough. I think it was when he was against Anna Sophia, and he was just kind of like, no, I don't care. I'm not going to do that. Whatever. And as the days kind of progressed, you started to see him more and more fight to want to be there and like open up to people a little bit more about like trying to campaign for himself. And I do think that if he had been maybe a little bit longer for this game, we would have seen more of a fire come from him as he learned how to navigate socially through everything.
He was having a hard time. Like we talked about how he was somebody that like you could tell needed to break out of his shell, and he definitely made attempts, and I think he was doing a lot better. I mean, at the end of the day, he only got one vote. He was not supposed to go home, except for this surprise double eviction. Luke was overwhelmingly the House target, got all of the House's votes, because the only vote that didn't go to him was Luke's vote itself.
Which I kind of call shenanigans on this, because I do wonder if we would have gotten a different result if they knew it was a double eviction to begin with. Like, everybody piled on Luke because they thought it was just one, and they didn't want to like be disruptors or anything. But is there a world in which Bella could have picked up like 2 or 3, and then it wouldn't have just been Luke's one?
Oh, I'm sure. Especially some of the women, have not been feeling Bella for, as we've said, jealousy reasons or what have you. I am certain that if they knew it was going to be a double, that she would have picked up a couple of votes.
Yeah, I think Zach actually could have been safe in that scenario.
Yeah.
Do they typically tell them ahead of time, or is it formatted this way where it's like, oh, surprise, it's a double. This is what the other vote was?
I don't think there's a set way to do that. I think they've kind of done both. I feel like they're like a little willy-nilly with those things. So I do think usually keeps it interesting, but in this case, because it was such a landslide, like,
yeah,
sucks.
Yeah.
So sorry, Zach.
I was bummed to see Zach go. Also, I would give him a kiss.
Yeah, suck and wait for that to end. Definitely should have been in longer. Well, since we're talking about Bella, she is our first, female intruder. I think she's got a rough road because of Monet. All she did was just show a little bit of interest and like whatever. She didn't actually do anything. I don't think she was disrespectful in any way, but I don't think that Monet is ever going to like let her off the hook.
Yeah, she's literally done nothing to anybody. I do feel for her a lot.
Yeah. But that's all I know about her is,
right.
the Monet
right.
She was hanging out with TJ, because they got to be, the king and queen when they intruded. But even that connection didn't seem like it was really strong or anything. We're just kind of just hanging out because we came in together.
It could be interesting because I think it would be interesting if all of a sudden TJ and Ari were together, and then Bella was like, "Hey, Jake, looks like you're free now," because Jake definitely has been talking about how he's finding Bella attractive. So like that would be an interesting move for Bella to make if she decided, let's go see what Jake's doing.
And maybe a smart one, to kind of piggyback on what you were saying before, that this house is structured differently because you actually do want to be in a romance with someone. Whereas when we see like on Big Brother America, like we want to make sure like, don't say that you're in a showmance, right? That makes you a target. Here, like you're a target if you're single, which is an interesting thing. Am I just going to now be booed up with you just for the sake of being safe? That'll be interesting to see too, which is kind of where you're going with the Bella thing. Yeah. Is that a good move for her to just fake interest in someone?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if I like that yet. We'll have to see how that like plays out throughout the season, but yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. And that really brings us right to TJ.
Yeah.
Man of the hour, really causing a lot of problems. But boy, is he beautiful. What a handsome man. Yeah, my gosh, those eyes.
He's got pretty eyeballs.
Yeah, I get it.
Pretty
Um,
eyeballs.
he's
Got
just
pretty
been like
eyeballs.
he's just been so aggressive though about like making it known that he's interested in Ari, which I felt like was almost like a little toe steppy, like on poor Jake.
He also like, yeah, he's into Ari, but I also feel like he's low key gonna be one of those people that's into everybody. You know what I mean? Like,
He's
I don't
into
know.
anyone
I don't
who's
see him
into him.
stopping at Ari. Yeah,
Yeah.
See, like Jake, but a little bit less of a mess.
a little more seasoned in his flip
Yeah.
flopping.
Yeah. Seasoned is a good word for that.
Season.
Looks like somebody who's, done this on the outside, where Jake is just like,
Yeah.
wow, these people are all interested in me. He's like, right, you're all interested in me. Let's see how we manage this one. This is my challenge. Yeah, seasoned is good. Season's good. We did see two other intruders come in. Miss Maddie Rose, right? Rose is the second
Oof.
part of that. Yeah, she
Yeah.
is.
Gorgeous.
Wow.
Smoking hot.
Wow. That's all we know about her so far. Just smoking hot. And then what's his name?
Not Omni.
That's why I don't even want to say it. Omi? Ollie.
Ollie.
Oli. Oli. Ollie. He does have a damn nice smile.
Think about it like this: Ollie, oxen free. You know that little.
Boy, yeah.
Well, now he'll never forget
Exactly.
it.
I'll never forget it. Now, when I have a
It's
problem
in there now.
with
It's in
him,
there.
I'm going to just say it all the time.
It's in there now.
Anytime we bring him up, that's what we have to say. When he said, "My smile is my secret weapon," I said, "Oh my goodness, yes, it is. Slay! That is some smile, Jesus." And that's all we know about him. Although it does look like he said he was from Perth, which it looked like that's where Monet is from, because she seemed to react rather strongly to that.
Yeah.
And he had made that comment that he really likes girls with blonde hair, and you could see that she was also kind of digging him. So that's going to be interesting, as she's so worried about what Louis is doing with Bella, which has been nothing. How do you handle this relationship, or this attraction rather, to Ollie?
It's gonna be messy.
I'm excited. So
I'm
Renee
excited
better
too.
stick to her guns. All this fussing she's been doing. You're gonna stick with your man. But all right. So that's Big Brother Australia 2023, as we know it thus far.
Yeah. The only other thing I would say about the season so far is that it's just really fun to be seeing like food shopping challenges again. Like, I love those, how they have to, try to earn money towards their food budget for the week. Like, I wish they would do stuff like that in Big Brother US. And I it's always something funny, like they're getting electrocuted while somebody's getting smacked into the pool by a giant sandal. Like, it's just like, it's like that, that feels a little bit like the cheese that we would get in BBUS, but like, but they're doing it the right way, and like, we're not even getting that in the US. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that giant sandal and calling it like, "Oh, I'm gonna introduce you to my thong." Like, that feels like a BBUS thing, but Big Brother Australia is doing it better.
Yeah, I love all the cheese. I support it always.
Yeah, there's nothing Kyle loves more than a cheesy sponsor comp.
Love it.
Can I ask you guys, because we compare obviously all these different countries' versions of these shows all the time, like, and while this is a House of Love thing, obviously showmances are a big thing in BBUS. Like, how would you feel about like the show setting up dates for showmances in BBUS? Is that something that you would enjoy at all?
No, I would not.
No, I don't think so, and I don't think there's room in our game for that.
Yeah.
I would not like it at all.
Yeah, our game is so different that like I don't. That, yeah, there's no.
And it
I
would just
mean,
become Love Island.
yeah, well, maybe not necessarily dates. It's not something that we haven't totally done. Like Big Brother 9, that had like a love theme. And you were
Yeah.
supposed to be teamed up with whoever was supposed to be your perfect match. Um, and that did get interesting at times, but it wasn't as forced. Like they just put them together and made them play together. And that was it.
Mm.
Right.
There were no like dates and anything else like extra there. So it really just changed the social dynamic of things.
Yeah.
But that season was also interesting because you had a couple that was actually playing together that were not each other's perfect match. So like, so
The odd couple.
yeah,
The
so
odd
that
couple.
got interesting too. Just the fact that they weren't playing together, but that's their actual boyfriend. So like that was fun. Um, yeah, I don't
That
really
is
think
fun.
that. Yeah, but see, a lot of people didn't like Big Brother 9. Well, because the winner's
Yeah.
not great.
I
Right.
haven't seen that season, honestly.
Yeah, that was a season I had started, and I texted one of you, and I was like, "No, don't watch it. The season's
I do
not."
remember that, yes.
And then I still kept with it though for a couple episodes. I was like, "Nope, I'm taking that back. This is fun. This has been a lot of fun." But
I I do have one more question now that I just thought of, especially because it's Gina's first season watching BBAU.
Mhm.
How do you like that there's a constant like Big Brother voice in the house? So like
I
even like
love it.
right, I honestly love it too, and that's something that I wish honestly they would do in BBUS is having like Big Brother as a character almost. That's
I absolutely
part
love
of the
it.
house. Yeah.
I also love, and I'm kind of under the impression that this is a new thing for this season based on the way it was introduced. Does Sonia usually do like almost a round table on eviction nights and like come into the house and have like a little like
No,
chat with everybody?
this season she actually said it at the first eviction. She
That's what I
said
thought.
that
Yeah.
this was the first time that she was doing the eviction with the house guests in the house.
Because I love that too.
yeah, I think it's awesome. She well, not always. She would pipe in via video and ask a lot of the same questions though. Like she would charge them a little bit more than Julie does. Like there was that relationship, but I think it's so much more heightened by the fact that she comes and sits with you. Um,
She
Yeah.
was asking the same questions. Yet Julie will like ask a couple of questions, but they're always very surface level questions
yeah,
that
they're
don't
not.
mean anything. And all of the decisions have already been made by then. Like this is almost like a tribal, you know?
Yeah, and that is how the last season went too. She just did it via video. Like Julie's
Yeah.
questions are not probing. They're not. They're nothing. They're just Oh, so how's the peanut butter this week? Like, it's not,
Right,
she doesn't
right.
ask like good questions. Like, but yeah,
Sonia's
absolutely, it reads more
uh,
like a tribal. I do agree
yeah.
with her sitting there
But
with them. That's very
I
cool.
love it.
Yeah,
Sonia's great. I love Sonia. And at some point, we still have to surmise Sonia's style somewhere down the line.
we do.
But I feel like we gotta pull together like every outfit because now we're getting her on every eviction night. I feel like,
Mm.
and I gotta tell you, she always kills it. Never wearing any
She always
denim
did it.
like Miss Julie Chen
Oh
Moon does.
no, no.
No
And
denim
that's
down
the
in
other kicker. She would
yeah.
not wear denim, and she wasn't even going in the house. You could only see her, like, I guess, see, Julie doesn't go in the house either. I guess she appears to them by video, but she's to us differently. And where Sonia has no audience, she didn't have like a whole big studio. But she still got dressed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. She always looks good. Honestly, she always looks amazing. Sonia is
She's amazing.
gorgeous.
But all right. Is that it for
I think so.
for BBAU
I
weeks
think.
1 and 2? Oh, that
I
worked too.
believe so.
So we're going to be doing these every week now, right? Thursdays at 10:30 following our coverage of the Challenge 39. We understand that's 2:30 p.m. Sydney time, and that's not correct. Somebody please correct us because that's what I keep posting. Um, we'll be continuing our post-eviction chats as well. So the second you see an evicted housemate, send us a message. Got any questions? Let us know. We'll see how we can work it in. What else do we have? I'll be wrapping up Big Brother UK this weekend. Tomorrow is the finale. It's been an exciting season. This is my first go with that. There's another one where everyone is in one bedroom there too. There is a voice of Big Brother there. Until you even mentioned the bedroom thing, I was like, no, right, we don't do that in ours.
We have people sleeping in, like, multiple people to a bedroom, but
Right,
like
but not like
not
one big one.
everybody.
See, and that's how the
And they're
UK
also
one
not
is
like
set up too.
But again, like if they and again, this is like the theme of the UK season, but like if there is a showmance in the main bedroom, it's like, oh, why are we doing that? Like, like go into a different room. Why do you have to like whatever? Like, we saw that so much with Corey in America of like, can't they go into another room?
The showmance is in UK. No, they're just right there and out in the open. And I never even gave that a thought until that. But yeah, so that's wrapping up tomorrow. Then Monday, Survivor 45, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Apparently this is a very explosive week in the Survivor
I'm
world.
stressed out.
Yeah.
I'm stressed out.
I'm excited to catch up because we're behind. We're behind. But all right, I guess that's it. So if there is nothing else, you can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod or After the Fact on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those places. Toss us a like, a subscription, tell a friend, and come hang out live. And until next time, good day.